make us all hungry right before lunch.
So our problem came to do with food and nutrition, and we looked at this from two different ways, both educational, school-wide philosophies and what we're doing to educate our faculty and our boys, and also just the functional space of the dining hall and how accessible those healthy options were to all of us when we waste our half our lunchtime waiting in line. We also looked at snacks. You want to do snacks? Somebody?
Yeah.
Who was doing snacks?
We took a look at the current snacks that we offer now. We actually spoke with the nurses and just got a little bit of their input. Do you want to click? Yeah. So we all know that they're loaded with sodium, we noticed, and a lot of sugar. So we were trying to think of possible ways this could be an easy fix, maybe, to one of our problems. Revamping the snack, just getting other opinions, and just researching other school snacks and what else would be easy to clean up and not too much work on our part.
So we looked at we went up and measured the dining hall, looked at the dining hall configuration. We have 24 tables, 240 people we need to fit, and we thought about trying to go to round tables. And so these are our square table variations. The idea around accessibility, bringing out the salad bar, sandwich bar, fruit bar. And so the white blocks that you see would be the sandwich salad combination with, still in that little salad bar nook, there would be hot options like soup or pasta station. So a few different variations there. And then round tables. Here are some different round table variations, and then the next slide has the one we finally sort of settled on. So those two bars in the middle there would be double-sided, so it kind of divides the dining hall a little bit, makes it accessible to each side, and they sit between the two columns that are in the dining hall. That's what we like the best. These are our round tables with 10 chairs. Everybody fits. It is, yeah. It's smaller than the old round tables that used to be in the dining hall years ago. Also much easier to move. And then, who wants to talk about more of the educational aspect of what's going on?
So some of the other things we wanted to talk about was making the food more accessible, right? So we do have some healthy options, but part of it is we can't really get to it. So we interviewed both Ken Miller and Kirk, and we want to get some of the healthy options out there, right? So what we discovered are there's some major limiting roadblocks to actually getting this stuff in place to our kids, right? First and foremost, family style. As much as there are people here who hold dear to this family style, it's the major limiting factor for getting some more healthier options to our kids, right? So they need to get a lot of food out fast in this one type of way. So until we dish that, we're kind of limited with what we can get them. Okay, also our kitchen is designed to feed about 200 students. We have way more than that. So the setup is also for, the kitchen style is set up for family style. In order to get more types of options out, we would need a complete kitchen overhaul. So we figured it would be a little bit easier when we got into it, and we discovered there are just major overhauls that are necessary within the kitchen. Let's see here, things we wanted to change. We wanted to increase healthy snack. We thought this was going to be ridiculously easy. We're like, hey, just order fruit and vegetables, right? Unfortunately, there is limited refrigeration storage, right? So this stuff is perishable. When we talked to Ken, it was the most glaring thing was he's like, we have nowhere to put any of these things, okay? The cost wasn't really a thing. We already do a pretty good job ordering farm-to-table type stuff, and our sustainability is actually pretty darn good. We minimize a lot of waste here. The snack, which is big issue, needs to, in order to change, we need better refrigeration and more storage. It's just not going to happen anytime soon. The entire kitchen needs to be overhauled. He would prefer the cafeteria style feeding. That would give more options to our kids, to give them healthy options that they could choose from instead of here is your plate of food and that's about it. You're either with the plate of food or you're in the tunnel of death that is the salad bar area. That's 60 to 70 deep, right? So we were hoping to increase the accessibility with the options. We wanted to do some of the stationing. We hope that increases accessibility, but the issue is family style is just really limiting. These were what we would like to see. We think these are great options. Fruits and vegetables are great. There's a lot of driving initiatives nationwide now. Menus of change is one of the sustainable things that increase fruits and vegetables. Ancient grains and more protein options. So even things like this are better than some of the stuff we see. Our snacks are all processed, all sugar, all sodium. My ninth graders, bless their souls, did a nutritional audit. They found that they get about 4 times as much sodium as is necessary, and they get practically no vegetables at all here at Fessenden, and these are the 5- and 7-day boarders. So we want to somehow increase that ratio of vegetables to decrease sodium. So next, yeah, this is what we would like to see. Let's see here. Do you guys want me to just keep going?
I can take this one.
Thank you. So partly I want to remind us of our core problem, or one of the problems that we were running into was the prioritization of education around food at the school. Everyone in our group is in the middle and the upper school, and aside from science class, we're not seeing a whole lot of nutrition education. So we're wondering if part of that has to do with the lack of priority of having a nutrition sort of expert, either full-time here or as a consultant basis. So one of our recommendations would be to hire someone for that. Well, great. Yeah.
Put it on Facebook.
Yeah. So part of this too is that other schools, part of the reason that we felt encouraged in making these recommendations is that none of this is really novel. A lot of other schools do have somebody either in-house or as a consultant who's informing the menus, who is consulting with teachers to create curriculum or, for example, like beefed up, sorry for the pun, beefed up wellness programs. So we were thinking maybe another thing might be to institute school-wide health and wellness education programs at different levels, age-appropriate levels. Part of it too would be labeling. So that's something that kind of comes from the dining hall, but we can also do part of the education would be to how do you read the label? How do you know what that stuff means? And we realize that a lot of other schools have like a mission statement for their dining halls. We don't. Our website and all of our marketing has actually very little about the food. And considering that we're a boarding school, kids are eating here all the time. Yeah, there's nothing. So we would recommend that dining services and marketing work on some kind of a mission statement, something saying this is how we approach food at Fessenden. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Just a couple of things from us interviewing Kirk and Ken. Kirk, one of his goals is to actually put up a flat screen TV in the dining hall. He would love to have the menu up there with the ingredients of what the food is or even what the food options are for the day. That's a huge option for him because currently if you look at Fezzi's website and you search for dining hall or dining services, there's very limited things that pop up. The first thing that pops up is the Congo bars. And then the other thing that pops up is what the food is on Friday nights for the boys. And that's all that's on the website for dining.
You asked that what the #1 visited page is at Fessenden, it's the menu.
It's the #1 search thing, #1 visited, yeah.
So one of our other problems was about vegetarian options. I see that a lot at night for dinner for the boys who are vegetarian, that they will go without eating or they'll just eat bread. What Ken said is that there is a whole thing in the handbook, the policy, and they do in the beginning of the year make vegetarian options for those boys, but the issue is they're not always coming into the kitchen because they have to come and get that food from the kitchen. They won't bring it out to them. They're not coming into the kitchen to get it. So if they're making it night over night after night, and the food's not being eaten, the chefs are just stopping to make the vegetarian options. I think one of the big issues is that's not public knowledge.
Who even knew that?
Parents think the kids are eating vegetarian here and they're not.
But that is one of Kirk's big things, is that he would like to make the vegetarian options more accessible, and to open up the communication between the staff in the dining hall compared to and with all the other staff. The communication piece is huge, he feels.
Thanks.